Welcome everybody to Common Sense. If this is the first time listening, I'm your host, David, founder of nothing.s.l and possibly the worst English speaker ever. But nonetheless, this is my space for conversation where I try to develop a nice rich chat about the topics of business, of daily life, and the things that I found interesting. And today's topic is nothing else than that, and it's the first time the first time I appear on a research conference with my own case of study, which was completely mind-blowing, an experience that I honestly will never forget because the level was unbelievably high, and I was there with 24 years old, not knowing what was going on, with eminences on the research field coming from all over Europe, America, and giving amazing speeches. So this is a bit about how I prepare for it, an extract of the presentation that I did, the first try, the first time I tried, and I recorded myself to see how they look at, and a bit of that. So let's jump right into it. So, as I was saying, I've been developing and expanding my thesis into a case of study for a business conference and also to be public as a case of study with their own ISBN number, which that's been my main focus for the past 6 months. It's been quite a ride, not as comfortable as I want, but with a really uh, good result, which was the conference, the whole event, and the 10 minutes presentation that I was giving to expose the case. In terms of the preparation towards the thesis, towards the case, and towards the presentation, I think I'll make a separate distinction, a separate part of a video to actually properly explain what was it about. But what comprehends us today is the big day, a bit of the conference, and a bit of my feedback and ideas, and finally the presentation. And so you can see what I kind of did. Let's rewind. Because honestly, the previous week to the event, I was completely nerve-wracking. I was ill, and I really didn't conceptualize the magnitude of such event. So what happened is that somewhat, I did my PowerPoint on my own style, which actually is no photographs, very with a lot of photographs and very little text, and just really opening, really learning the opening of that presentation, and that's it, nothing else. That's a bit of my modus operandi and how I like to proceed. And I literally finished the presentation the day before, uh, and had an afternoon, like a few hours to learn the speech. And then we go on the big day. The big day where I actually didn't think about the people coming to the event. Honestly, it was something that my mind completely blocked. I had no idea who I was gonna find in that event until the moment I arrived. I arrived late, the event was already started. As I got off work, and by the time I got there, my tutor was there, and the whole presentation was already happening. And what I found was really something that now that I can think of it, it's completely mind blowing, which is the fact that it was a presentation where the median age was like 50. All of them were eminences in the research field with tons of experience on businesses. They are managers, they run and direct and coordinate masters and MBAs in universities all around Europe, all around America. Guests that came all over the place to be there in an event. And and it happened that I was also there as 24 years old, which seemed crazy, but literally made no sense at the time. And what I saw was literally amazing. So, of course, I didn't realize it yet. But even though I choose a really formal outfit that fit in perfectly, I was impressed with the level. And it's not that I was impressed, literally my mind blocked everything regarding the event. I just had no idea. I think previous to that, to the day before, I was only thinking about doing my presentation and nothing else. I didn't know if it was gonna be. I didn't know anything. I didn't even read the schedule until the morning prior to the event, and then the event developed according to that. There was an opener, a lot of talk with very important people, and then group were divided into three classes depending on the topic that you have. I had social engagement, so I had to go to one classroom, and on the coffee break, I had got the opportunity to talk to brilliant minds, talk a bit about my experience, met some professors because literally I was there a year ago, less than a year ago. I finished the masters on that place, and and get to know some of the deans, some of those uh, well, eminences on the fields, and give my perspective. And then the big moment came in. We got into the classroom. I was the third, and I was nervous, but not nervous because of my nervousness, or whatever you call it, wasn't because I was afraid or anything. And I have a lot of experience talking in public, and doing this actually helps a lot. I was nervous because I cared a lot, and the level was insanely high. People there were researchers on the business side, and they spent a lot of time. And I was going there with a case of a study, something completely different with a complete different approach, and I had to give my best chance to explain and defend why I got to be there, and was given that opportunity. Uh, I literally came there as the underdog. No one expected nothing out of me, and still, I believe no one expected nothing out of me out of that event. It was literally just a bit of the introduction of myself to that life and to those opportunities, and then it was that the moderator who I got to talk prior to the meeting, to the not to the meeting, to the on the coffee break. We did a really good job introducing me, getting to know people that was an alumni coming back. And what I did was literally work on a business case that got to be really good because it was back by data and all those topics. And that was its 10 minutes presentation. I think it flew naturally. I was nervous. I got stuck in a few words a few times. I made really bad examples with some quotes because of lack of preparation. But overall, I think people like it, or at least it was sufficiently good enough to not provoke any laugh and to be recognized as something that deserved to be there. And what I actually get out of the event, and my personal win out of that, is that once I finish and once I get back to my seat, I got back to my seat, a man, an old man, I don't know if it's the dean of an university in Boston, college in Boston, gave me his card, thanked me, or uh, said that it was really well done, he liked it, or something like that. Like my mind is literally black out, and that I should write him an email or get in contact. And that for me came going in expecting nothing. That gesture of handing me a card, it's enough for me to validate that what I did was to be proud of, that was deserveful, and that I got to be happy. And that's it. I got to take some pictures of me by a photographer, which look amazing. Like I'm really bad at taking pictures of myself, and that one looks amazingly good. And I listen a lot of presentation about business, about AI, about tools. But my mind literally black out pretty much everything. Besides that, really good thesis, really good paper about brand liquidity and how to extend the product into the brand itself that I found to be completely in sync with my case of study. But that's it. Uh, in general, is my first big event talking in public where there are people that deserve a lot of respect, that have so much experience in the academic field, and an experience that I will always remember, because the last time I did something similar, it was on the entrepreneur program, where, and I know my presentation completely failed because it missed the hit, it completely missed the audience, the target, and that it didn't connect. And I think now, at least, I got it to connect to some people and to get something out of it, which was the experience. I wanted nothing else than the opportunity to be there, and I think I got it. So I'm proud about that, and that's it. I wanted to make it kind of low key, speaking to you. As you can see, I'm sitting down and not uh, up, because I think it is at this moment. And now, if you got to this point, I leave the uncut scene of me practicing the presentation those 10 minutes. I think I went way overboard, but I like it. It was the first try I did, and besides that, I just correct a few things, and mm, that was it. I did one time practice of the whole presentation, and after that, I just focused on the opener and flow with the natural elements that I have and that I've been learning all over these years. This completes the circle of the case study. I think I made a longer version talking about the whole experience, summarizing I think in total I've done like 3 episodes talking of the experience from start to end. And, and that's it. Thank you very much, as I always say. Now, I leave you with the presentation. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming in. And as Barbara has said, or as you may have seen, my presentation covers the topic of social engagement. And what we will be looking at is a case study that goes all over the well-known brand, the apparel brand called Nike, and an upcoming market, well, that is not so upcoming right now, that is establishing itself as one of the main protagonists in today's supplements. So, as I was saying, Nike is the company that paired perfectly with our project when we started studying it a long time ago. And I think it's important to distinguish that Nike was not chosen because we overall like it more than any other brand. It was because after a long research, segmentation, and analysis process, it was the one that paired best with our idea and the value proposition that we had in mind. This code of field reflects really well our case. And supplements right now tell you what to do and how to do it, but they completely forgot about why. Why are you even considering taking a supplement? Why does it slightly benefit you or benefit you at all? And they just tell you how much to take: 2 pills to sleep better, 5 milligrams per body weight to recover better after training. They just tell you the doses, and it actually does a lot of benefits, and it gives you a lot of benefits. But in reality, no one's know. And that is purely why my partner Victoria and I were experiencing at the time. That is the exact feeling that we had, a complete disconnection towards the supplement world, that we more and more see as it was important, that it complements really well a healthy life between work and life balance, and that overall it was a thing that many people were happy about it, but also worried and concerned. Which brings us back to the same question: why? For us, is why Nike as a company and why supplements as a segment to dive into. And let's quickly remember, and I think it's really important in order to understand why we get to this point and why are we here in this case today, to get to know a little bit of Nike's culture. We all know a company of footwear, clothing, equipment, and as the years go on, they expand more and more and more. But the set that they have is that constant seek towards technology, towards advancement, and overall to lower the barriers that help people and athletes improve their performance. That's what they did, and that's what they care about, building a family of athletes that get better and better by day. This other quote was really long, and we just need to get as few key ideas of it with Felicia. It's the chief talent, diversity, and culture. And that actually pairs really well with our values as well, Victoria and I. We have constant listening towards people. They focus on feedback. They're constantly gathering insight. They focus on the opportunities. And overall, they try to innovate for employees and for athletes. But overall, the well-being of every stakeholder that the company has. So they have a mission. Their athletes' performance. They want to improve the day-to-day of any athlete that wears a Nike product. We had a vision. Victoria and I had a vision to be the leader providing of sport supplements with true insights and connection with consumers. And our values were the same. We want to help athletes, no matter who they are. Working every day, 8 hours, a pure athlete. If you have a body, you're an athlete. What Nike does is what we also wanted. But we again found the same problem. Here are a few things that I don't know if anyone here gets or consumes any supplement. We experience as well. It was too difficult. We were never clear if the decision was right. The reward wasn't actually high because you don't see results right away. And we live on a continuous uncertainty. That's what supplements bring, even when we bought it. Why? Because, well, of the whole market of supplements, only 10% of them cares about the true insight, the information, what they do, what they provide, what's the actual added value, how they affect the body, how they work, all of that. Only 10% of them are those extreme consumers who goes far and beyond to understand every single brand out there, every single supplement, every single component of them, and overall understand them. The rest, they take it because they're giving advices and they believe what others said. So this is our value proposition. Instead of having tons of supplements, we only have one. It's one supplement. But which one? Well, this is what Nike's get even more important in the value proposition. Nike has a Nike running app. If we combine our supplement with an app who already is tracking you, or you're already a runner, you have a defined profile, expert, and data analysis is way easier to really understand the intrinsic motivations of the individual, their overall state, and give them a true solution who works for them because it's adapted for them. That's the key concept and the key idea of this business development. But to get this value proposition and to get to this point and to actually choose Nike, we went through a long process. Market research, segmentation, targeting, positioning. This is the result of all this previous work that we've done. And I also believe it's quite important. So let's mention it quite easy and quickly. Nike segmentation is really broad. It's really open-minded and fair-giving. It doesn't discriminate. And focus on not on demographic, but on age and gender. The aim overall is to build a family of athletes. And no matter who you are, what is your shape, your condition, you are a part of Nike. Then we have supplements. A market who's growing crazy, $151.9 billion in 2021. A predicted compound annual growth rate of approximately 9% in the upcoming 8 years, giving us a market of great opportunity and growth for the future. And that, after examining, allow us to target a specific group. Okay? This is again that we saw the combination of Nike's strategy and the supplements and who were more likely to consume, where and when. We decided to target one specific segment to start with, which is middle-aged women who are active both professionally and sport-wise, and they were current or past users of Nike running up. So in this case, we have a really good niche of opportunity to focus on the first couple of months. And then it's to position. If we segment it and target accordingly to a woman of that group of age and that segmentation, what a positioning need to be is like that. And it's following, the strategy is to follow what Nike's already started. In the 20s and 30s, they changed their strategy and they went to driving that athleisure trend even to women. And today, this quote of Diane Martin reflects really well our vision of when Nike started a long time ago, which is that with women, what we want to start is the change of supplement, change the mentality, and through them, thanks God, they have the power to create, nurture, and transform. And they are the best candidates and the best option for us to move forward. And now we have a couple of tools that really help us define and focus on all of those strategies and decisions through the process. Some of them are like this, a process roadmap. We did this because it was really easy to analyze every competitor, every market segment, and the niche opportunities that we could attack, and especially if the gap that we were going for had an actual threat by who and how to actually solve it. And another really important tool that helped us a lot were buyer personas and journeys. This, in a case study where you're starting to develop a business, allows you to recognize future or unknown problems because you focus on segments, not on person. Those segments are your buyer persona. So by analyzing the segments, you're able to react to them. And if you actually prepare a journey and see the pain points of them, you can actually solve all of them with your future product or service. And the last one is actually sales and financing. Okay? We really wanted to make sure if we started this project, it was viable. And by that, we need numbers. We need numbers that validate our answers. And by that, what we did was a first sales forecast. The method was a beta-test sales forecast, one that we learned through our course in the Masters. It's just analyzing factors in various factor groups, comparing them to attributes of the competitors, and then making the calculations appropriate with their sales competitors. And this is the result we got. Those are approximations, both online and in stores, that give us a nice base and a nice starting point to move to financing. Okay. And in financing, what we did is a whole spreadsheet of financing. From the initial investment to the working capital, the budgets, the needs, and what we end up with is with two concepts actually that are really key. The net profit value of this project that on the fourth and following years is approximately and projected to be more than 5 billion euros and a return of investment of 26.10% with a 10% discount rate, which validated in an academic approach and in a first compass the project to be viable and to actually be really a good opportunity in future. So, what is the conclusion? That we are targeting an evolution. This is the evolution for fitness and health in general. We need to adapt to the change. And with Nike, who's already key and on development, we think we can do it. We will have many hills and obstacles to solve, like how the consumer will adopt it, how the technology integration will work, how the market disruption, cultural shifts, or how this brand, Nike, could extend and what challenges we may face. Those are our conclusions and problems that we actually left unsolved, plus many other questions that are fully explained in the case study, as well as the whole process of segmentation, of target, and positioning. So you can read more and really get to know the insights and the process that we went through. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for coming in. As I said, it's a really short summary to actually fit in, but at least I hope it was interesting and that some of you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.